Well, good evening, everybody. Hey, it's Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. Just want to double check something here, and we are good to go. All right. Thanks again for coming back for day number 3. So how about that? We're going through all of the retiring in colors. So we did already Blueberry Bushel, Pineapple Punch. Today, Call Me Clover. Love this green. It is. Sorry about that if I had a little interruption there. I will have to, that was my son who called. I just said I'll call you later. So anyway, let me get this going here. You can see all of the products that come in the Call Me Clover. We have the blends, the markers, the ribbon. What I really highlight a lot, though, obviously, is the ink and the paper and these embellishments that I absolutely love. I'm going to have to buy a bunch more before they retire, just so I have some in my stock. So let me get you showing what the 6x6 One Sheet Wonder is going to look like. Very similar to the one we did yesterday. I'm going to do just a little couple things different, which is what you can do with these. That's what's kind of fun. If you get a basic, you can chop it up the way you want and go for it. So let's go ahead and get cutting. So let me bring in, here we go. All right, so the first thing, I'm just going to go ahead and get this in here so I can get started. Let me bring back the picture. Like I said, we always look for the thing that's going to be where your first cut is going to be. So I'm going to actually have 3 strips that are 1/4 inch wide. So I'm going to start, this is what I do. It's a little backwards probably, but it's kind of how my brain thinks. I'm going to put it first in at 5 3/4. Okay, so there's my first. I'm going to do it this coming down 1/4 inch each time. So now it's going to be 5 1/2. Okay. And then it's going to be 5 1/4. Wow, doesn't that one sounds familiar? A lot of our cards and things, we have a layer that's 5 1/4. So there we go. This is now the first 1, 2, and 3 cuts on this one. Okay, now I'm going to turn it and just now do 2 inches. Okay, so 2 inches. One and 2. Okay, so there we go. Here are our cuts. And with this, we are actually going to make 4 cards out of this. So let me get my cutter out of the way and let's get started. I'm going to put some of these off to the side. I'm sure I'll lose them though. I'll be like, where did I put those? All right, so the stamp set, I do like to highlight a stamp set while I'm doing these as well. And when I saw this color, of course, then it made me think masculine, and it made me think of the Clubhouse stamp set, actually the bundle, because here are then the dies then also that go with it. So I appreciate all you guys coming in, saying hello right back at you. Again, let me reiterate, I am really bad at looking at my computer and such to see who all's here, so I apologize for that. But I see you guys here, so thank you for that. Now, if you share my video, make sure you write shared on here, and that way you'll be in for the drawing of a card that I will send to you. There's always 2 ways to win. First, I will, after this video is done, I will post then a hint as to what the next color is going to be. Write down what you think it is. You'll be in for a drawing to have a card sent to you. And then by sharing the actual Facebook Live, that's your second chance of winning. So, all right. The bundle is the Clubhouse bundle. So, here we go. I have a lot of things already done and stamped and what have you in my hopes of saving time. So let's go over what a lot of the things are going to be the same. First of all, the card base. Call me Clover. It is 8.5, 5.5. The score line is at 4 1/4. I like my layers, so I have soft suede here on the bottom at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then my whisper white 5 1/4 by 4. That's for the front of the card. The same size of white is on the inside as well. All of these, like I said, are coming from that stamp set. So I also now have a piece of Call Me Clover that I'm going to layer underneath that DSP. And this is 2 by 5 1/4. So I actually made this 2 1/4, 5 1/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this put down. All right. So I hope everyone's behaving themselves, staying in. I did have to go grocery shopping today, so I did do that. And I went to Starbucks as well, because there's a Starbucks inside our grocery store, which made me very happy. I love Starbucks. Our main one is closed, and I'll tell you what, I didn't know what I was going to do whenever it closed, so I am so happy that this one is. There is one then, like I say, that's open and it's in our grocery store. So that way, if people are like, what are you doing out? Oh, I'm going to the grocery store, which I am, but I'm also getting my Starbucks. So anyway, here we go. I have a stitched shape here in the square, and then out of the layering squares, I got the scallop. The scallop is in soft suede. I stamped and then die cut with the dies, the golf ball. So right here is the die, and I popped it up on the square. I'm going to do something fun here and just turn it on to make a diamond shape out of it. So I have that popped up, and yes, I have my dimensionals on the back as well. So this will be popped up. So sometimes all it takes is just one little turn, and it just makes the card that much more interesting. So here we go. Okay. Now, because I love them so much, I am going to put on some of my enamel dots here. So let me go here. So I'm just going to put 3 of them across. And now I have a nice, fun, masculine card. All right, don't look at that. If they're crooked, I'll fix it later. So here we go. Card number 1, done. All right, let me bring in another of the 2 by 5 1/4. And let me bring in some of the pieces that I have here for this. Actually, they're all the same. So I have the card base, the 5.5, 8.5. I have the whisper whites, both on the outside and on the inside here, both at 5 1/4 by 4, and then my soft suede 1/8 of an inch bigger. Okay, so all of that is the same. Same with my layer of the Call Me Clover here, that is 2 1/4, 5 1/4. So that everything here is going to be almost the same. Okay, let me just kind of line that up. There we go. Yeah, I just see where it's just a tiny bit bigger than my layer underneath, so I am going to just sort of trim that. Okay, good. All right, let me go ahead now and put this down. So, okay, here we go. All right, smack dab the middle. And if it isn't, we'll pretend that it is. Now, here comes some additional things. Same thing again. I have my square. I'm actually going to, again, turn this on its side in a diamond shape. Let me just show you what I'm going to do before I actually put that down. The one stamp, let me show it to you here. Out of this stamp set, it comes with both this garland and the Happy Father's Day. Now, if I pull in the dies, you'll see that there is this shape of, I don't know, a shield or something that will cut just the innards out of that. So that's what I have here. So that's going to be my sentiment. Now, there is also then the garland here in the dies. So what I did with that is cut out Call Me Clover. I actually cut it out 3 times and glued it on all together to kind of stack it up and make that a little bit thick. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it's just nice to give it a little extra texture in dimension. So now I'm going to glue this down onto here. Let me just do that first, and then I'll actually get my card, or get that diamond put on. I would do it if my glue, there we go. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so let me flip this around. I'm just going to kind of lay my shield down here as a sort of a guide. Alrighty. Here we go. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead now and stick this down. Dimensionals on the back of this. Okay. Put it down here to the center, just like I did the other one. All right, and now I do have a couple dimensionals on the back of the shield. So let's go ahead and get the sentiment right in as well. So now we have a Happy Father's Day inside. You're the greatest guy by par. All right, and I stamped then the golf club then just to add a little something something on the inside. Yes, I am going to add some of the enamel dots to this. I think even masculine cards you can add these embellishments to. So one, I want to pop it up here. The second one, I'm going to go with the bigger size, and I'm going to put it down here. I know it blends right in, but I think if you look at it and everything, you'll see that there's a little something extra right down here at the bottom. All right, card number 2 is done. There we go. We are on quite the roll. Now, card number 3, I'm going to bring in those 3 strips, those 1/4-inch strips, and show you what I'm going to do there. I might only end up using 2 of them, but still, let's go ahead with it. Okay, now, a little bit different here. This time my card is my favorite top folding card, the 11 inches by 4 1/4, 5 1/2 is the score line. On the outside is my soft suede, that 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Inside I have the Whisper White, that's 5 1/4 by 4, nothing has changed there. Now, let me just kind of set this off to the side. Here I do have my piece of Whisper White that also is the 5 1/4 by 4. What I'm going to do with my strips is create little just angled stripes. If you get the gist, if I could get my fingers to work. All right, so they're going to be down here. There's going to be another round here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with that. So that's my idea here. So all I'm going to do is start with some adhesive. And, oh, there it is. Why is it you lose what's right in front of your face, or you can't see what's right in front of your face? I tell you. All right, so I'm going to start first in the corner. Okay. And just kind of angle it. Okay. Extend it beyond the top, and then obviously it's extended here beyond on the side here as well. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut this off. Okay. There we go. Now, let me get the second one. Now, here's a cheat. This has already been cut at an angle, so I'm just going to use it, and I'll put it right there. Okay, so let's get a little bit of more glue on there. And, you know, however far apart you want it to be, that's fine. Oops. Okay. Now let me snip that off. I can actually use this, I think, because I want to do actually 4 of these strips, 2 here and 2 down here. So let me do it again, just like I did that second one. Let me get some glue on there. Sorry, I think I'm going out of focus here, or out of the screen. Let me just eyeball it to make sure I have it about the same. Okay. Okay, so that is flush here, and then all I have to do is snip this part that overhangs. So here we go. Technically, I guess all we're using are going to be 2 of the 3 strips. So, you know, I can always find another place to put this other strip. So I thought we were going to get them all used this time. So those little strips I like to put on the insides of my cards. So you can always save them and use them sort of to embellish the inside of your card. So here we go. All right. Well, let's go ahead now and snip this off. Okay. And I'm getting glue everywhere from my fingers. All right. Excellent. So there it is. There are use of those. So let me go ahead now and adhere this down to my card. Okay. You can put yours on either side as far as angled. You can do them all. You could do all 4 if you wanted, you know, all 4 corners. However you want to do it. I just opted to just stop to here. So now there is this big golfer image in the stamp set, and there's the die that will cut that guy out. When I first saw this stamp set, I thought, oh, I'm not going to want that because I have to color him. You never have to color, okay? And that comes from someone who really does not like coloring. I will if I have to. I have deemed myself a lazy stamper, and that means that lazy stampers want to find the quickest way to get a card made. So that's why I like to get a lot of my stamp my stamp sets that don't require a lot of coloring, so that I can make quick cards. Now, here is, out of the stitched rectangles, one of them, and it measures like, oh my gosh, was it 2 3/4 by 4, I want to say. So then I, again, just 1/8 of an inch bigger, I went with my mat underneath here of soft suede. Okay, my golfer stamped in soft suede, and I put a bunch of dimensionals on the back of him. So let me get him put into position, and we're going to make this into a birthday card. Now, let me get him down here real quick. All right, there we go. Again, in the stamp set, the happy birthday. I didn't want a long sentiment, so I stamped it and then just cut it out with my scissors and just made these 2 fun pieces. That way you can put dimensionals on the back, and just to make it a little wonky, and just make it crooked on purpose. So there, it's a fun birthday card. That's it. I am not, believe it or not, going to be putting any of my enamel dots on it. So there is card number 3 using those little 1/4 inch strips. Okay, the last card. Can you tell this one's my favorite? That's why I'm saving it for last. It's a little different. Let me just show you the pieces that you're going to need, okay? So again, I cut out the golfer, stamped him first in soft suede and then die cut, all right? I'll come back to these guys here for a second. Now this time, this card does not open. This piece, this piece of Call Me Clover is 4 1/4, 5 1/2. So it's just a quarter of a piece of cardstock. My soft suede, 4 1/8, 5 3/8. And this piece of Whisper White is, yes, 4 by 5 1/4. I have, this was what I cut, so remember that is 2 by 5 1/4. And then I have this piece, this mat, that is 2 1/4, but I cut it to be about 5 5/8, okay? Why? And then I just put it 3/8 here, I scored across the top. I'll show you here in a second what we're going to do there, okay? How this is going to work. Just fold that down and give it a good crease. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my tear and tape. This is the extra heavy duty adhesive, and I'll show you why here in a second as soon as I get this down. Now this I'm calling the front, so where I have the flap folded down but in the back, open it back up, and this is where you're going to put your strip of tear and tape. Okay. Because, well, you know what? I want to put this on first before I do anything else. This is that 2 by 5 1/4. Let me go ahead and adhere that down. It is going to fit below at that score line, okay? So I'm just going to fold it so I know where the end is here. And hope I get that down somewhat straight. There we go. All right, so here's that little flap that has the piece of score tape on it, all right? So let's bring back that piece of Whisper White. Here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a little flap, a little fun fold. Here, I got to switch my hands around here. We're going to line this piece up. Yeah, I make mine off center because, like I said, I feel like because I'm off center, this works out the best. Fold that little flap down behind, and now we have this little flap here where we're going to write our message in here. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this down onto my card front. What I like to do is put one more piece of tear and tape right here. Whoops. Because this flap is going to get opened and closed a lot by the person that is receiving this card. And if it isn't, it's being opened and closed by me a lot. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to attach to the card base. It just ran away from me. Okay. So just because it's a masculine card doesn't mean we can't make it fun and interactive. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's go ahead and get this put down on top of the card base, which is a little different than what we're used to. Now inside here, like I said, is where we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to do that now. I have 2 of the stamps here. The happy birthday is one. I am going to stamp in soft suede. I have to move all my stuff here because I have a bad habit of leaving all my stuff around, and it just kind of pulls me in. I feel cluttered, but yet it feels good to have all that stuff. Now the only thing you need to do is sort of make sure that you're in between where that's going to get covered up by that flap. Okay, so far so good. And then my next one, using Call Me Clover, is going to be the golf ball image. Okay, sorry for the glare. Now the thing with this is I find that the Call Me Clover is a nice bright green, so I am going to stamp it off 3 times, or well, twice. 1, 2, and then come to my card and stamp it because I want it ever so slightly in the background there. Okay, so there's the inside, still hidden by that flap. So let me get some things moved out of the way here. All right, for the front of the card, yeah, here we go. I have my, I didn't get dimensionals on the back of him, just when I thought I was all prepared. So let's go ahead and get them ready. And I know people cringe with how many dimensionals I put on the backs of my cards. So here is where I like to use these end pieces. So let me get one put right here. Okay, there we go. Okay. The golfer is going to go on that flap that we created, the fun fold portion of this card. Okay. So, right here we go. Now the sentiment, the stamp, is right here. You're the greatest guy by par. Now, one thing you notice, this bannered greatest guy part, there is actually a little banner die that's going to cut out just those words, the greatest guy words. So that's what I did here. I stamped it in the soft suede and just die cut out those words. Okay. Then I want to show you what I did here. I stamped it also in green. I used from the stitched rectangles, this one, and I put it all the way to one end and I die cut that out. Then I put it back into the die. And with these stitch lines, you sort of feel it kind of lock into place. And I ran it through my die machine again, die cutting machine, and that's where I ended up with this. So I kind of created my own shape as far as that goes. So here it is in green. Let me just put a little blob of glue right here. Okay, I think I put my dimensionals too far over because it's going to hang off. Well, you know what? If you do have it hang off, don't put your dimensionals all the way to the end like I did. So instead, I'm going to make sure that mine doesn't hang off. How's that? So I'm going to cover this up. Okay. And then I'm going to put in the brown one the soft suede that I stamped and die cut out, and pop that up. Fun, fun, fun. All right, this one I think I will put some of the enamel dots on. I'm going to put on 3. I like using the number 3 for my, not always, but I usually do. So I'm just going to put them right here, just in a straight line up. And, oh, these little ones, I love them, but they are hard to pick up. There we go. And pop it down. There we go. It's very, very crooked. Let's get it back in there. In line. Press it down. Okay. So here's the fun fold card then of a masculine card with the little happy birthday tucked inside. So let me bring them back in. Clear off my space. Share the cards here. So here we go. Here is the first one we did. Then the second, the third, and the fourth one. All right. Call Me Clover, highlighting that color and the great stamp set, the masculine stamp set Clubhouse, and it's a bundle. Comes with these great dies. These are in the mini catalog, by the way. So if you're interested in that, just hit the Shop Now button on my Facebook page. It'll take you right to my store, and you can have a field day getting all these in colors, getting the stamp sets. Tomorrow is, oh, I almost gave you the color. Sorry. I'm going to give you a hint instead on my blog. Be sure to share my video. Thanks for those who have already. So share this video, mark on here with a comment that you did. You'll be in the running for a prize. I am going to then post what the hint for the next color. Give me the name. You'll be in the running for a prize. And both prizes are cards that I will send to you because we always need a little fun mail, especially now. So I want you guys to stay healthy, stay safe, but keep on stamping. Hey, thanks for joining me. Bye now.